We're live.
Good evening.
Yes.
Evening, chaps. How the hell I made it in time? God only knows. I swear to God.
Is this why we're 2 minutes late? Is this why we're 2 minutes late? You've just been dashing about.
You know what, mate? I don't condone speeding, yeah. So don't do it. But I tell you what, when it's coming between my live streams and thing, we know what we've got to do, mate. We've got to get onto the. We've got to get here. We've got to get in time. Yeah. So I'm sure the police will be all right with that. They're saying, listen, I'm going to be late for my own live stream. We've got to sort it out. So yeah,
everything's good. Is that the bus with the passengers on?
We're in, mate. No, this is in my car, mate. This is in my car. I can't do that, Jay.
Imagine he's on the bus. They're all going like this on the bus.
That's what he does.
I'm a professional driver. I'll have you know, mate. I'm a professional driver. Can't do that.
It goes like that, doesn't they? You're backwards and forwards.
They pay for the ticket and he chucks them a crash helmet and they're all sat there on the bus with crash helmets on.
Oh, mate. Mate, I tell you what, it's been an absolute nightmare today. Manchester is just absolutely hammered. Absolutely hammered, mate. You know what I mean? So
Friday gets better at the live stream. Friday gets better now.
I know. That's it. First things first, as the customary, we'll see who is in the live stream, but thanks for everybody who thought we was going to be running late. We finally made it. So yeah, I appreciate everyone you staying around. So first things first, as always, Tony, evening Tony. Tony's always in first, near enough. Cottage Reef, evening,
mate.
Cottage Reef. John, as always, mate. Logged on early because trying to get my grandkids to bed. Hey, mate, I'll be shortly doing that soon. So yeah, Trevor, evening, Trevor. Nice way to spend the Friday evening with all my reefing friends.
Awesome, mate.
Echo that for my friend. Echo that. Second Reef, evening, mate. Skids. As always, let's have a look. Howard, evening, Howard.
Nice one,
UKM 20.
Always.
Evening, UKM. Stuart, once again. Haley's here on time today. Evening, Haley. Yeah. Let's see. Julian, evening, Julian.
Evening,
Chris. As always, Chris, evening, Paul. Russell Brooks, once again, another.
Yeah.
And Reefport, evening Reefport, and MK Reefer, evening MK Reefer. As always,
Ian
is in the house, evening Ian. So yeah, the zoo. The zoo, you're not having it in the zoo. Must be on a day off, or he's getting his truck ready. Carl, evening Carl. We all mate. And finally, Haley Barr, and as always, the great Drippy Reef Geek. Evening, Drippy. Well, mate. So, yeah, first things first, great giveaway. A giveaway is going to be happening today, as always. We're going to be doing it later on. We'll sort something out. Who's going to be doing it? Like I said, I've just come back. So, we'll sort something out, what's going to happen. But you're going to be winning. In fact, I'll get it in a minute. You're going to be winning one of the...
You go and get it to show what you're giving away. And then, because I'm going to do the Wheel of Misfortune, aren't I, later on at some point? Unless Jay's going to step in. One of us will do it.
Yeah, he's a bit flustered, isn't he? Because he's been dashing around. So he's like, oh, you guys do the Wheel of Misfortune and we'll set it up for us. Because it's just been hectic. But bless you.
Mate, it's been absolutely I tell you, mate, how the hell I made it back, I don't know. So what I'll do is I'll just take it off. So this is what's going to be winning.
What?
The new Coral Essentials Coral Power Food. Now, I've got to admit, guys, I've been dosing this to the tank for the last week and a half or so, twice a week. And I swear to God, when you dose it directly, the Scollies, Euphyllias, anything like that, LPS, anything like that, soft the corals absolutely love it. More so, I think, than the reefroids, to be fair. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. They just take it straight in. The Scully looked like it was turning inside out the other day. It was that big, you know what I mean? But this is what's going to be winning. So Phil from Corals Essentials, he said, whoever wins it, he's going to send me your details, and then I'll forward them onto him, and he'll get it straight out in the post for you. So great prize, that, guys. That your corals are going to absolutely love that, trust me. Yeah, so We'll sort that out later on in the evening. But first things first, what's been happening, guys? Anything happening in the reefs?
So just a couple of things. I'm assuming it's not the open packet that's going to get sent.
Well, that's what I was worried about.
It's going to be a brand new one, isn't it, Steve?
No. Oh, it will be a brand new one. And I'll tell you one thing, what you'll get
this little spoon in it. Show us what it looks like. What is it?
What's that?
It's like a powder, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So let me see. Let me see if I can get it on my hand. Yeah, give it in my hand here a bit. Right, let's take Drippy Reef Geek off the. So basically, it does look like reefroids.
Oh yeah.
So if you look,
yeah,
it does look very, very much like reefroids, yeah. And I suppose in a way it does smell it slightly in theory. But trust me, I've been monitoring my nutrients in the tank because obviously reefroids has a tendency to raise phosphates in the tank and stuff, as we all know, yeah. Now I've been monitoring mine, and there's absolutely no. It's not been raised or anything. It's stayed the same, so yeah, that's a good sign. And I've been dosing 3. I've been doing it twice a week. So I've been doing it Sunday and I've been doing it on a Wednesday, half the week, and it just directly feeding it. Basically, what you can do is you can put it in the pumps or you can spot feed it, whichever way you fancy, really. It just says like you had basically 1 full scoop. So you get this little spoon, little tiny spoon. Look at this. That you get 2. You get 3 of them. One of them spoons per 100 litres of water. So you must. I would definitely like the air on the air.
That'd last me a while.
Pardon?
That'd last me ages.
So yours,
my tank is only 75 litres. So yeah.
Well, that's why you'll need one spoon in it, mate. And basically, you just like mix it up with normal tank water.
Yeah.
And just disperse it in a power head, or you can turn off all your power heads and just directly do it. What I do is I do one and then I do the other one the following. So I'll do say on the Sunday, I'll blast it in the power heads, yeah. Right. And then on the Wednesday, I'll switch all up. I'll broadcast it. So sorry, not broadcast it. I'll spot feed it on the Wednesday, and then I'll alternate it the following week. Yeah, but I swear to God, really, really good products, really good. And like I said, so far so good. It's not raised nutrients up or anything in the system, which is always a positive, especially if you're struggling with higher nutrients in your system. Do you know what I mean? At least you know your corals are gonna get all the the proteins and stuff that comes in something like that, and you're not gonna raise protein.
Did you say what's in it, like the recipe?
Well, basically, it's saying. I'll read it for you. Yeah, basically, what it says Coral Power Food is a blend of naturally occurring freeze-dried foods that have been proven to promote healthy growth and vitality in aquarium coral species. Contains 100% natural products. No preservatives or additives, which are always bad. You don't want that. Yeah,
you don't want that.
Only what occurs in nature itself. And that is the brand. So that's what it's basically saying it's got. So,
well, you got me, mate. 100% natural. That's good. I like natural things, as you know, right?
Absolutely, and that's why when like say for instance, I've always said it. Yeah, if I don't have to put any like chemicals in my tank to combat something, then I won't do. The main thing is if you can try and find the situation, what's happening in your tank, yeah, and what the causes of something before you dose chemical. I mean, sometimes you can't always do it. You know what I mean? Sometimes you might have to put Flux RX or whatever, to combat certain things. Sometimes it just can't be helped. You know what I mean? But if you can try and find the cause of it, it's always better. You know what I mean? And like I said, with this stuff, I mean, it doesn't raise nutrients. Not that I've been doing it, like I said, for the last week and a half, 2 weeks, and I've not seen any nutrients. My nutrients have stayed exactly the same. So fingers crossed, it's good to go. But like I said, guys, we'll do that. Sometime this week.
Sponsored by this company then, Steve? Because you've done a really good job there.
No, I am not sponsored by it.
I'm not sponsored by it.
Basically, Phil reached out to me. He sent me a message on Instagram and he said to me, like, would I be interested in trying out the new Coral Essential product, the Power Food? So basically, I just said, well, you know what? Yeah, absolutely. But I made it clear, and he knows me because he watches my channel, he watches our live streams, and he basically said to me, you know what? Listen, I said, I'm going to be transparent. If it's good, it's good, and if it's not, then I'm clear. I'll say. And he said, no problem, we believe in it. And you know what? So far, so good, mate. I only see good things from it. So if there's something crap, you know me, guys, yeah? Something's rubbish, I'm going to say it, yeah? I won't beat about the bush. I'll tell you as it is, mate, yeah? And that's it. So it's as simple as that. But so far, so good, mate. Only time will tell. But he said to do a review, you know, 1 month and then 3 months or something, just to see what I think of it, you know what I mean? And I'm only getting good results with it, you know what I mean? The polyp extension and stuff like that, my SPS especially, are fantastic.
It's all corals as well, Steve, like softies, LPS, or is it?
All corals, mate, yes, all corals. Yeah, proven to, for all coral species. So, so it's for everything, mate. I know, like I said, with the Scully, I literally got the turkey base out, squeezed it, and it turned it. In fact, I've got a photo, go on to my Instagram, and I'll post a photo later on, either today or tomorrow, and you'll see the Scully who turned inside out, mate. And that was just by dosing that. So, really good food.
Right, it sounds good.
We'll sort that out later on. Yeah, we'll sort that out later on. So,
You should, so Steve, you should do a voiceover for the advert, because you did that so well when you was reading from the packet.
Yeah. It was really good, wasn't it? He was really good.
I almost believed him.
You almost believe it.
I like the fact that you're not sponsored anyway, because at least you can give an honest opinion.
No.
So.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're saying it's better than Refroids, because you've used both of them, mate, you know.
Well, yeah, and I've got your Refroids here, but I mean, I have when I used to dose Refroids, like I said, twice a week, you know, 3 times a week, I did see an increase in phosphates mainly.
Yeah.
Not so much nitrates, but definitely phosphates risen. You know what I mean? Yeah. Since and as you all know, I don't put my media reactor on. I don't put my reactor on. I only put it on when phosphate goes to a certain level. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Then I switch on. Some people keep theirs tumbling all the time. You know, so they have like a low bit of row of phos or whatever in it, and they keep it tumbling all the time just to keep the phosphates level. I don't do that. I do the opposite. I basically, if it starts to rise, then I lower it down by putting media into my reactor. Do you know what I mean? So obviously, when I was dosing the Refroids, I did see an increase in phosphates more so. You know, if I was dosing more, say twice a week or 3 times a week, I went a little bit overboard, I suppose. But now, since I've been doing that for the last 2 weeks, I've tested the phosphates once a week, obviously, and they stayed exactly the same. It's not risen up. So, you know what? It's a good thing, mate, in theory. If it keeps your phosphates low, that's a win-win for me. You know what I mean? Because I've always struggled with phosphates. Not so much nitrates, but phosphates has been my killer, you know, in the sense of rising up and down like a... what's it like? It's like a ride, you know what I mean? On a roller coaster.
Fiddler's elbow.
Down. It's crazy, mate. It's down, it's never stable, you know what I mean? So, fingers crossed, mate, it's stable now. And it's still staying at like 0.05 now with phosphates. So, we're good to go. We'll keep it at that.
So Steve, with the rower phos, because I do that. If my phosphate goes too high, I put in if it was the tank behind or the small tank, I just put a bag of rower phos by the return pump, and that actually brings it down. What I used to have to do on the bigger tank was set up the reactor and put some media in it, probably run it for about 3-4 weeks, and it would come back down. Then when I switched it off, I would take it out, and then maybe 4 or 5 months later, it would go back up again, and I'd put fresh rower phos in it. I'm assuming you did the same. You take the reactor out, empty it out, blah, 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 and then put fresh in when it goes above a level.
Absolutely, yeah. No, basically, I do exactly like that, Paul. Basically, if my phosphates go, say, above 0.2, so 0.20, say, it goes above that, then I'll think to myself, right, well, let's run some raw phos. Well, every time I run the raw phos in my chamber, once it's dropped back down to the level I want it, then I empty it. I take it out and I clean the chamber, I clean the reactor, clean it all, and I stick the reactor just back in without anything in. And then if I see the phosphates rising up again, then I just stick a little bit more in, and then I turn it on.
Yeah.
But the reactor's it's not always on, mate. It's like I said, it's probably run on maybe once a month, maybe a few days a week, a few days of the month or something. If it starts to see it rising, do you know what I mean? But touch wood, it seems to have stabilised. I don't know what's stabilised it, to be fair. Do you know what I mean? In all fairness, but I tested it the other week and it was 0.05. Tested it this week and it was 0.05. It's not raised up, you know what I mean? Which is a good thing, I suppose, because that's a perfect number for my tank. That between 0.05 and 0.07 is about right for me, which is where I see good results, with my tank with the corals and stuff. But yeah, I don't know why it's not risen up. I don't know. It can't have anything to do with calculaster or anything like that. I don't know what it is, but it seems to have remained the same, and I'm not actually running anything in my reactor. So it's a good thing. I'm happy with it.
Yeah. Mate, can I ask something now? You know that debate that you started on our WhatsApp group about Roaphos? Remember this one?
That?
About Roaphos and how that certain...
The reactor? About being put in a reactor, you mean?
No, you don't use Roaphos, do you? You use the Kraken.
Use the Kraken.
You know where I'm going with it now, and you came with that really interesting point, and I'm like, is that actually real? Does that go on? You talk.
Yeah, no, yeah. Somebody reached out to me. I've done a video on it, actually, not on the actual thing, but I did a video with this chap. Reaching out to me. I can't remember his name now. He was a YouTuber. And he reached out to me and basically said to me,
your last video,
I told him about my Goniopolis, and I basically said, I can't keep anything. Sorry, I can keep most things apart from Goniopolis. Yeah. For some reason, Goniopolis just don't like my tank. Anyway, he was like, he gave me a few tips and all that, and then he said to me, what phosphate remover do you use? So I said, well, I use the Kraken Corals own brand. I did use Roaphos, but then I used the Kraken Coral Roaphos now, the Kraken Coral phosphate remover, because it worked and it was bang on. Do you know what I mean? There was nothing wrong with it. Anyway, he come back to me and said, "You want to watch that because certain phosphate removers contain Liblium or something like that. It's called, isn't it? Let me see if I can.
Was it on your video? There was it on your last one?
Yeah. No, I don't think it was, mate. I can't remember now. It contained a certain thing, and he said just to watch out for it. They might contain this certain thing. So I was like, flipping it. I didn't know that. You know what I mean? Like I was gobsmacked, with it. And then when I look back when the Goniopolis started to, how can I put it, curl up and wasn't open, it was when I actually changed over my phosphate remover. So that can't be a coincidence, you know what I mean? At that time, I did a video, and at that time, and then the following week later, that was when I changed my phosphate remover. So maybe the guy has got a genuine point of it, of what it contains. I can't think of what it was called now. What the actual it begins with L, did it? Was it Liblium or like?
Yeah, someone's put it on there. Russell Brooks and the zoo has put the name on the last three comments.
Yeah.
Lamphium, that's the one.
Yeah, that's it.
You're the man, the zoo. You're the man. Yeah. Lamphium, so it can contain lamphium in it. Yeah, which I didn't know. And he says he's never had any problems by just running Roaphos. And when I ran Roaphos, I never had any problems. That was when, if you look back on my video, that was when I was running Roaphos in it, when I had the Goniopolis, when they were all out. Then I changed over. That's when he started to curl up. So I think the guy has got I can't remember your name. I apologise.
I think he's on to something there. I mean, as you know, Goniopolis are my favourite corals. And I've only ever run Roaphos. Mine have been like Apis Larry in my tank. But I think he's onto something there, Steve, especially when you said the time with the timing. I'd be interested to know. That's why I said bring it up tonight. Has anybody else had problems with Gonnies who's not running Roaphos, or ones that are running Roaphos?
Absolutely spot on.
I'd love to know if that's actual. Someone's...
I'm gonna go with this case of that. I believe him. I believe exactly what he said, mate. And if you look at his tank, that guy's tank. I need to find his tank actually, because you know what, he gave us some really good information, and I thought to myself, you know what, this guy definitely knows his stuff, and he's got a brilliant tank as well. So you know what, you can't go. He's a guy who I always say, don't I? Yeah, I always take advice from people. What's he called?
Tate's Marine Aquarium. I ain't got a very. Let me just.
Tate's Marine. Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, that's
he won't be watching. Well, that's him. Go check him out. Tate's Marine Aquarium. Go check him out, guys. Yeah, and just read what he said, and just have a look at his tank and stuff like that. Because trust me, he's got a really, really nice tank. You know what I mean? So he definitely knows his stuff. The guy, he makes his own calcium reactors and all that, and makes his own calcium reactors and all that. Yeah, he makes them all, mate. So he's definitely a knowledgeable guy in the industry. He's been in it quite some years, I believe. So. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, so win-win. So I'm going to take his advice and I'm going to stop using that media that I'm using. I'm going to buy some raw phos when I get a day off. I mean, like I said, I don't need to do it because, I mean, my phosphates are right at this moment in time. But when I have been running it in the past, that's the one that I've been running was the cracker coral. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the cracker corals. It works, don't get me wrong. But if you've got gonioporus, it could potentially not work, or it could have an adverse effect to them. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but I'm assuming when I look back on my videos, it did look like it was when I changed over. So you know what? And these are the things that you always think of, innit? You know, when you have an aquarium, you look at certain timing, don't you? And this is what's good when you have a YouTube channel, because you look back and you go, when I changed that over, blah 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 happened. And you go, whereas if you didn't have a diary, you wouldn't have a clue, would you? Do you know what I mean?
You fix one problem,
YouTube for me is my diary, mate.
Don't you? You fix one thing and then something else gets triggered. But I just thought it was a really interesting point that he made, and I just thought, I agree. He could be onto something there. And if someone's struggling with goners and and loves them and wants to keep them, then maybe swapping your phosphate remover could be a winner, couldn't it?
Well, if it's the only link you've got, if you then change over to Roaphos, and then you'll see next time you use it, does it have an impact or not?
Yeah,
because you don't know. It might be that, it might not. Exactly. It's the only thing you can think of as a link. So the only time will tell to prove it.
I've not changed it. I've not changed anything, have I? I've not changed my lighting setting. I've not done water changes. I've not changed anything. So this is like really for me, like exactly like you said. This goes by what's called process of elimination, innit? Yeah. I've not done anything to my tank. The only thing I've done is change my Roaphos, change from Roaphos to cracker corals. That's the only thing I've done. You know what I mean? So it can only be that guy. You know what I mean? In theory, my nutrients are about the same as what they usually are. Alkalinity is the same. Magnesium, calcium, all the same. So it's strange. It's definitely a strange one, but. I mean, I think, like you said, Jay, and it's great that you brought that up, actually, because I forgot about it, to be fair. My head's been all over the show, so I'm glad you brought it out. But, valid point, mate. I think he's got a really good point on that. You know what I mean? So
discussion point, isn't it, I think. But you got all your other corals here, just like, they're all thriving. It just doesn't make sense, does it? So, that could be, it's only going to be something little. It's going to be something little like
it will be, mate. It will be. I mean, it might be too late for that pink one that I've got. You know what I mean? But I mean, I can only try. I can only change it over, and then what do you call it? And then like
not yet. Have you swapped it over yet?
With Roaphos?
Yeah.
I've got nothing in. I've got nothing in the chamber. I've cleaned it out. So basically, because like I said, it's at 0.05. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not running it. It's only when it goes higher. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna be. Yeah. Evening, Nick. You okay?
Oh, sorry, mate. Go on.
Hey?
No,
like I said. Let's see. Containing a blend of krill, red shrimp, mysis, brine shrimp, marine plankton. Yeah, this is what it contains.
There you go.
He knows more than you, Steve. We could bet him on. He knows more.
And he didn't make it
beautifully, but we didn't learn anything that was in it apart from it was natural.
It was just a marketing speech.
Cyclops.
Hold on a minute. You told me you asked me what it was, so I read what it was. Yeah.
What was in it?
You didn't ask me the ingredients in it, mate.
No, I did ask you what the ingredients were. Like, because I've seen you in your kitchen with the fish food. I wanted to know what ingredients were in it. Not that I was going to make it. I just wanted to know what was in it. That's all.
Yeah.
Should have put my chef's hat on, should I? What the hell? Come on, guys.
But Jay, all he wanted to do was the marketing speech.
I know.
He just wanted to do a pitch for it. That's all, didn't they?
be fair, he did a good job at that as well.
He did do a good job. Yeah, they should sign him up, shouldn't they? To be fair.
Hey, you never know, mate. You never know. But yeah, like I said, it works and it's good. So that's the main thing, guys.
You've been using it a week.
But anyway, let's have a look. You what, mate?
A week into the experiment with it, is it? Is it a week in?
A week and a half, 2 weeks, I think. Now, yeah. So yeah, seems to be right, mate. Seems to be bang on.
In a month, I'd like to see
I'm just having a look at that's it. MB Reef Lanthium. That's the one where it is. Lanthium is what's contained in it. So yeah, or what it could protect, what it could be. Like I said, what it could be potentially.
That's used for some. That's used to get rid of another nuisance in a tank, isn't it? What is it like? Is that used to get rid of dinos? Is it, or to get rid of cyano or something?
Don't know.
I don't know.
Because you can dose it in a liquid. You can dose it in a liquid form, can't you?
Yeah,
Lanthium. Yeah. You can dose it in a liquid.
I don't know which one it is.
Yeah. Let's see. Has your heating broken down, Steve? Just wondered with you having. I've just literally ran in the door. Yeah, I just completely forgot. I ran in, Joe. Yeah, headphones on, computer switched on. Hope to God, yeah, that it didn't need updating. Yeah, and we're on. It literally 4 minutes.
Weeks, I'm sure. Anyway,
he had it on when he was in prison the other week.
Yeah, he had it. Yeah. Anyway, Rose just trying to wind us all up here, Steve. She's trying to wind us up. She should have got me. Where's Ross? Bloody hell, where is Ross? Get back on here. He's doing me head in. Needs to show his face. And then she's having a go at you.
Oh, right.
Mischief.
I know. Hey, come on now. Most of the aquarium Steve, which tests do you use to measure your parameters? Well, I use the Hannah checkers mainly for the alkaline air. Just as an extra one compared to my KH keeper, and then I use it for the salinity checker, the Hannah. Then I use the magnesium for the not magnesium, sorry, the calcium alkaline air. Yeah, calcium? The phosphate. Sorry, phosphate. Right. Yeah, Hannah checker, and then I also use the pH Hannah checker as well. I use that, and then the rest of them, the calcium, the magnesium. And nitrate. Sorry, I use Salifert, so they're the ones that I use. So it's a good mix, you know what I mean? And I mean, like I said, Salifert have been around for decades, haven't they? Yeah, and you know what? They're trusted. They're a decent brand, you know what I mean? And they work, you know what I mean? They're cheap and they work, and that's the main thing. They give you a good, they give you a good ballpark, don't they? You get 50 tests. What is it? 50, 60 tests, 100 tests for what? £9.99 or £10. It's a win-win, mate. Whereas, like,
can't do the shaky thing, though, I can't. You know, the shaky thing. Like, I started to lose the shake. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, when you keep chipping it in, you're like, I'm to shake it. Then at the end, you're like, come on, shake it. Can't shake it enough. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You like,
I know exactly what you mean, Jay.
You can't keep it up for a minute whilst you're tipping that thing in.
Speak for yourself.
You know what?
So what test kits do you use then, Jay? And then
what do you use, Jay?
I copied off Steve basically. So I use the it's more or less the same as yours, isn't it? So I use Hannah. I use Hannah for phosphate, alkalinity, salt, salinity. I use Salifert for all the rest of them. So yeah, pretty much. Oh, he's taking his hat off. He's kicked in.
He's got on, eh? Yeah.
Yeah, so I use Hannah or Salifert basically, but yeah, a combination because I don't like the Hannah. The nitrate one's a pain in the ass. I haven't got the newest one, and then the magnesium one, people say that's not good. I've got the calcium Hannah one. That's a waste of time. You have to have like distilled water and stuff with that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I just use phosphate, alkalinity, and then I use the salinity pen for Hannah. All the rest is Salifert because it's cheap and cheerful, and like C said, it works, doesn't it? It works well, and no problems with it. Gives you a ballpark.
So I'm the opposite to you two. So I use the ELOS high res for phosphate. That's brilliant. Been using that for years, and the refill is only about £18, and I think there's 75 tests out of it, so it's pretty cost effective, that one. And everything else I use Red Sea. The only time I've really used Salifert in the last few years is when I cycled that tank and I used it for ammonia. So if I cycle a tank, I don't usually measure ammonia. I just keep it dark for about 4 or 5 weeks, and it would have cycled in that time anyway. So I must admit, I've never bought Hannah before. I haven't really fussed about it. I think also because I've been testing 3 tanks for quite a while, it's more cost effective with the Red Sea. You get 75 tests. All the tests are less than 20 quid on the refills. So it works out cost effective for me to do it. And I've never had any problems with Red Sea. I've got to say, on the test kits, they're pretty good.
I do like the Hannah gives you the numbers, which is really reassuring. Whereas sometimes when you use like the salad, well, not so much the Salifert. Well, I used to use the Red Sea.
Yeah, you got the colour. Yeah,
the starter kit. And it has ammonia, and it has quite a few of them in. And sometimes, like the colour, you didn't know exactly which part of the chart. Really, it's like subjective. So the Hannah's good for the numbers, but generally they're a bit pricey, aren't they? The refills and stuff are quite. It works out about £1 a test on Hannah, something like that.
And that's the problem. I don't want to do it I don't test calcium or magnesium on this one, and alkalinity only so often because I do water changes and there's not many coals in it. But the other 2, I test all of them, so it just gets a bit pricey if it's a £1 a shot. So I just find it's a lot cheaper to use the Red Sea ones. So that's why I use those. But I've been using those for years. And
magnesium's not too much of a worry either, because unless it goes low, it is. But it can go quite high. My LPS love a little inflated magnesium reading.
Yeah, mine's usually up about 1400 to 1500. I don't worry about it. If it goes above 1500, I just dial back a little bit on the doser.
Yeah,
and it's fine. So going too high usually isn't a problem, is it? And as you say, your torches and those kind of coals like a bit of higher.
Oh God, they love
magnesium, don't they?
Yeah, they love it.
Yeah, and I've also been dosing the trace elements from Red Sea as well. They've been going pretty well.
Can we just carry on because we can't even hear him now?
Can't you hear me? Can you hear me or not?
No, just carry on. He's gone. I can hear you. I can't hear him.
Oh, what, Steve?
We've lost him.
I think he's just sitting there. He's not talking. I know it's unusual. He's not saying anything.
He put it on mute. No, he was talking, but he's on mute, I think.
Was he?
Am I all right? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you are now. Yeah, you are now, yeah. What did you just say a minute ago?
I don't know. Can't remember. Remember me?
That's old age, that is, Steve. That's old age.
He's tiredness. He's
tired, dementia, I think. It's tiredness and dementia, I think, my mate. Yeah, for sure. But anyway, I was what I was doing? I was like listening to what you were saying, and I was like reading like about like this lanthanum chloride and John saying there that they dose it into the systems, and then Cottage Reef said, no problem dosing it as long as your filtration's up to date. So I'm assuming it removes so dosing it in liquid form, it will remove like nitrates and phosphates, won't it? Directly, in that sense. I think it must do. Like I said, I'm not up to date on it, to be fair, so I wouldn't even like to hazard a guess, but I mean, I'm assuming that's what it is. Robert Pino here, this chap. I use lanthanum, Phosphate RX. Gonnies have been fine for a year, but recently it's been pissed. Might try Rower. Cheers. Well, hey, you know what? It's interesting, isn't it?
Robert, give it a go and then let us know next week. See how it's coming
on. Absolutely. This is what is good about this hobby. You know what I mean? You learn all the time, don't you? You know what I mean? I didn't have a clue, mate, until, like you said, that chap reached out to me and said, you know what, just try, what are you using? And then I explained, and he was like, yeah, just try this, because when he swapped over, his gunnies went in. So I was like, right, well, fair play. You know what I mean? So it must be right, mate.
Calls.
Yeah.
Best calls.
I'm not a fan. Exactly. Yeah. NB Reefing. Jake, have you settled the aquatic RODI unit?
Mate, he's just stitching me up here. What's going on?
I'd take that as a no then.
Is it still in the box?
So what's stopping you then, Jake? Because you're always having a go at me about not setting things up.
Wait up.
It's still in the box. Have you opened the box yet?
I've took the label off. I haven't even got it out of the box yet. Look, I haven't even got it out of the box.
It's probably not an RODI.
You know what it is? It's just like one. I have to watch Ross's video, and that'll give him an extra view in his ads. So I don't want to do that really. Setting it up, and no, am I joking? I just, like new kit. Just getting around to setting it up. I don't like rushing it, so I like to have a proper bit of time to do it. And I'm still like addicted to the spotless, to be honest. I am a bit addicted to that because it's just damn easy and super cheap for the water. So, but I will get on to this. But it's also here. I don't know about you, Paul, but it's freezing cold in the Midlands at the moment. So like, it's not really the weather for putting it outside and setting it up.
Mine comes indoors when there's ice on the ground. I know it's going to freeze, and then it goes in the shed with a blanket around it so it doesn't freeze.
He tucks it off in the shed.
Yes, I've had snow on the ground, and I've been making some water before. Obviously not at the moment, but yeah, even if it's icy on the ground, I still make water. I mean, the production's really slow. But when I need to make water, I need to make water regardless of the weather, and then it just goes away. I mean, otherwise, if it's not icy, it will stay out of the garden the rest of the year.
Yeah. Do you know what? It does look a bit complicated as well. When you see everybody's set up with it, with all the bloody TDS meter in the line, and there's a pump attached and all that sort. I'm just like, and I can just go down the road 3 miles and fill my bucket up for about £1.50. And then it was just that's what it was. But I'll get round to it in the summer when I can be outside and it's warm and I can set it up without freezing. Yeah. I will. But
have you got all the parts? Have you got the TDS meter?
Yeah, I've got the parts. Yeah.
So you got it all. John. He's had enough.
Yeah.
He's got no. I don't know what he's got to do.
I've upset him because I haven't set it up.
Yeah.
I've got all the parts. And John, who's in the chat, he kindly offered to give me some free bits as well because he had some extra ones. So I've got the pump and the TDS meter and stuff like that. Yeah. It's just the wet getting around to it with the weather because mine's going to be outside because I'm going to use the garden tap. Yeah. So I just want the weather to be a bit.
What I have got is a big poly box. So when it's cold, the poly box goes over the top of it. And also when it's raining, the poly box goes over the top. And I must have had that unit, I don't know, maybe 4 years, 3-4 years. And it's fine. And as I say, most of the year it just lives there with the poly box over the top. Yeah. And then it just goes away because what can happen, some people have kept it in sheds or in little outhouses or whatever. When the temperature really drops, the water freezes inside, and obviously when it goes back to liquid, it can crack the unit, crack the pods. That's why you laugh, but it sits in a poly box in the shed with a blanket wrapped over it, and touch wood, it hasn't frozen before. Because otherwise, if you don't, then it can freeze.
Yeah, it's definitely the right way to go. And I know most people say the first thing to get is an RODI filter, don't they?
I did from day one, even though it was only a 135 litre tank. I still did it because that was the guidance I got, and the research was to. And also, I didn't want to go to an LFS because the more often I went to an LFS, the more often I'd buy other stuff. So I'd end up buying the RO and then bring home a coral. So if I don't go to an LFS, I don't buy anything.
It's a money-saving tip. I'll get round to it. I'm nearly on day 850, so I'll set one up soon and get it going. But I'm just waiting for a bit. Yeah, nicer weather really. But, MB Reefing, cheers, mate, for checking me in on that one. It's amazing how much people watch and pay attention to what you're doing, isn't it?
I know, and then chase you down afterwards.
The scrutiny we are under here. Hopefully it'll be up and running. I'll let you know when it is. I don't think I'm going to do a video on it though, because there's about 90 million videos on RODI filters, and I've never really enjoyed one of them because they're just a bit boring, aren't they? So
I tell you what, I did that video that compared, was it 100 gallon per day and 150, and I thought no one's going to watch it, and it bombed to begin with, but since then it gets regular views every day, and it's just going up and up and up. It doesn't get many, it gets 10 to 20 a day or something like that. Not many, because it was basically comparing those two units, 100 and a 150. And does it make a difference having the 150? And the reality is, yes, the production's twice as much. And then if you add and it also depends because the water around here is pretty crap. So the TDS going in, as I've said before, 325 to 350. Wow. But even though it's really poor, it was twice as it was twice as quick a 150 compared to 100, and if you put a pump on it, it's then twice as quick again. So it makes a big difference in terms, and it's really sad because I obviously timed 10 litres in dripping and how it done.
I did actually watch that. I mean, I watch all your videos, and that one was. I thought it was interesting how you did that with the looking at the different specifications of them.
It was just really to did it make a difference, because I didn't know, because originally I had a 51 gallon, then it broke, then I got 100, and I decided to upgrade because the production was too slow on it. So then I found that, you know, if the 100 compared to a 150 with a pump is like 3 times as fast, and it makes a big difference. Just talking about RO machine.
Mine can make me, if it can make me 20 litres in a couple of hours on a Saturday, I'd be really happy. That's all I'm
Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry about that, chops.
Yeah. It depends on the time of year as well. So it's kind of, what's your TDS going in?
Yeah.
What your kind of size that you've got, like a 150. Have you got a pump? And then also the weather as well. The warmer the weather, the quicker the production. But I find when it's out there and it's kind of, you know, there's ice on the ground and that, the production is really slow. But then if I don't do it, I haven't got any RO. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's even slower at mine because I don't even get it out when it's cold.
Yeah.
It's my top tip. Right, where are we up to in the chat now, Steve? Are we
it's seems fine, mate, to be fair. Yeah.
Just fancy
joined us.
going back in the room.
No, basically the bloody computer was echoing, you know, crackling in my thing. So I switched it off and then booted back. Booted it back up, and I can hear you better now.
Oh, good.
Ryan, just treating this tank to the Radion Gen 6. Ryan, those coddles that you got off me, mate, they're going to love it now. Trust me, mate. They're going to flourish. They're going to grow, as my usual saying is. What's the saying, Jay? They're going to grow.
They grow like weeds.
Like weeds, right? Like weeds.
If coral's growing like a weed, you're happy, aren't you? Because, you know,
absolutely.
Such a beautiful plant.
Absolutely. For sure.
What's that mean there? Rassy J, what's that mean? Don't know what that means.
So who's been using Reef Enhance and Rock Enhance? What's been there, Nick? I don't have a clue.
I've got to say, I haven't heard of it.
I've not been using it, so no.
Not heard of it.
Comment below what it is, mate, because I don't. I'm a bit. Forgive me ignorance.
It's the easiest thing to set up, so get on with it. Yeah, I know. mine's in the outside cupboard. Oh, fair dues.
Oh, it's only like Paul, isn't it? He never set up his nano yet. He's got that lovely warm garage, and then he's never set up his KH keeper and anything. What the hell's that about?
I know, yeah. Well, this was another thing on the other live stream on a Sunday on Reef Doc's live stream. You know, not liking setting up new kit, and I feel like I'm one of them reefers. I don't like.
I'm like that.
Yeah. Do you buy that?
I love it, mate.
It's such a balls ache. Oh,
mate, no. You know, when I get a new piece of kit and I set it up, it's like I don't know. It's like I look at it and I go, yes, I love it, mate. It's like it makes the tank even better, and I'm like, yeah, I love it, mate. Absolutely love it. So for me, it needs, anything like that goes on the tank.
It never goes to plan. You follow the instructions. The app doesn't work. It don't connect. You know, you're faffing around. You've done it. You spent more time on customer service calls to different reefing companies than you've been on a bus, I think. But it's just
you're probably right, Jay. To be fair, you know what I mean. I'll give you that one. Yeah, you're probably right.
I'm one of them reefers that doesn't like setting up new kit. Like, I just like to leave stuff, really.
Yeah, I totally get it. I totally get what you're saying, but I mean, it's like Christmas for me when I get a new little toy from a tank or something. Yeah, because remember, like it is, our tanks, or my tank especially, is like this is it, mate. For me, I'm looking at it now and I'm like, this is 4.5 years of work, and you know what I mean, and like things. So when I get something on it, and it can make the tank even better, or like you said, another coddle, and it makes the tank even look nicer, then I love that sort of stuff, mate. I just thrive off it. So for me, it's I don't know. I mean, maybe I don't know. Maybe my missus does say to be fair, a bit like you guys. What's the big deal with it all? What's this? I'm like, listen, you don't know.
You've got to be in it. If you're in it, you know what the bug is.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
you can't be halfway. You're either all in or all out, aren't you? Because I mean, if you're not into it, your tank starts suffering as well. If you lose interest, it goes downhill pretty quick, doesn't it? Or it can do anyway. So you have to be on
marine gardening, basically, isn't it? You got creating your own marine underwater garden, miniature version of the sea. It's just incredible, race. But I will give Ross another view, because his videos, to be fair, for instructions are amazing. Like, he is talented at instructional videos, isn't he?
He is. I'll give him that. I will give him 100%, mate. Absolutely. Give him a view. Let's see. Fish Palace.
That one?
There's a couple of comments above, because you got Drippy saying, why don't I keep the RODI unit in the shed or in the garage? The reason why, because I always forget to turn it off. So I've even been on the live stream here, and I've had to run out the garden because I've left the tap on. So if I leave it in the garage, it'll get wet. It'll be like a pond out there, and I can't have the warm garage all soaking wet, can I? And having puddles on the floor.
It'll soon dry up. Don't worry, the humidity.
What about the shaggy rug? It'll get wet.
You've not got one of them yet.
Immaculate garage.
You've not got one of them yet. You told me.
No, I haven't. I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna get one though. I'm gonna go to IKEA and get one.
Shaggy rug in the garage.
It's like a shaggy rug.
Oh,
mate. Yeah, you know what? Your next video, you've got to post that picture what I sent you, mate. You've got to,
It won't be the next one. It'll be the one after that.
All right, then. I'm gonna put a poll out. Yeah, you got to put it out, mate. You got to put it out. But yeah. So let's see where we are. Paul, how often do you recommend changing filters? RODI. I'm not sure if anyone has asked this. So, Paul.
So I change the carbon and the other one, which I can never remember, probably every 3 months, which is probably more often than most people. But that's mainly because the quality of the water, the TDS, is crap going in. And it's really cheap as well. I think the two filters are less than 15 quid. And I think it's worth that money because of the quality of the water. The DI resin, that probably I change it every 6 to 8 weeks, which again is, and I don't make that much water. You think I've got a tank that's 100 litres, a tank that's 170 litres, and one that's 280. I don't do that many water changes. And so I don't make that much water, and it goes through DI resin, I think, really quick. So the DI resin I buy in big tubs. You can get 5 litre tubs. So I buy it in the 5 litre tubs, and I go for them pretty quick because as soon as it hits 1 on the TDS, I change the DI resin. So I think, I don't know what other people do, how often they change.
Sounds pricey to me.
Interesting to know that, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, Martin there, he says he runs spotless and runs it through a DI filter just to be extra safe. Hey, that's a good idea. To be fair. That is a good idea, to be fair. Yeah.
Yeah, because the DI resin, there's that final bit. It polishes the water.
Yeah, it polishes the water.
So it's been through the membrane, been through the carbon, through the other one, and DI resin is the last one it goes through just to polish it off and take stuff out. So that's why whenever it goes to 1 TDS, if I change the DI resin, it goes back to 0 for whatever reason. Right. I don't understand the science behind it. So that's why I change the other 2 filters, because carbon, if you think you put carbon in your tank, doesn't last that long, and it needs change. I mean, how often do you change the carbon in your tank, Jay? Because you run carbon all the time, don't you?
3 to 4 months, and it's only like a tiny amount I use. Yeah, because you've got to be careful with that Red Sea carbon, because it's
quite strong, isn't it?
It strips the life out of your tank. And if I put too much in, I have to use that mud then to just like buffer the nutrients again, because it will just wipe it clean of anything that's good in the water. But yeah, I would say every 3 to 4 months, and it's a teaspoonful. That's it. Yeah. And it's
that's strange. Yeah, that's like mad me, because like I always think I never run carbon. I haven't had carbon in my tank for 6 months, 8 months or something. You know what I mean? It's mad, it?
Like any toxins from your corals and stuff though as well. That's what else it does. It brings other benefits to it. You know, if there's exactly. toxins.
The only time I run it is if I've done quite a bit of fragging.
Yeah,
and then you put the coals back in, it all slimes up, and you get a bit of it's not all around the tank. So I put the carbon in because it helps. Or if I occasionally clean the sand bed, which isn't very often, but if I do, it kicks up loads of rubbish. So in which case I put carbon in there. So it's usually a reason I've created some toxins or I've created coral warfare or something like that. Then I'll throw a bag in for 2 or 3 weeks. Main reason why I don't run it more often is I just forget.
Yeah, I mean, granted, totally get that. That's when I really run it. You know, like if I've done some fragging on Zoas or something, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. That's when, like you said, I run a bit of carbon then, but I'll only run it for maybe a week or so like that, and then I take it out and throw it. So it's like I don't run carbon at all unless I need to, unless I absolutely need to. Do you know what I mean? Now I know it polishes your water, and according to Jay, I should need some my water should need some polishing. Do you know what I mean? But I mean,
you can't polish a turd.
That's right. I saw that in his latest video, just bobbing around on the surface.
You just have to put glitter on it, and then it's a holy glitter turd.
Yeah, hey,
I tell you what, you could sell that for some money.
I'll sell it for 250 quid. How about that, mate?
Hey, bobbing around on the surface on his last video.
Yeah, for sure, mate, for sure. But yeah, no, I mean, I suppose it would be interesting to know, like any of you guys who were watching in the stream, whether you run permanently, whether you run carbon, whether you run phosphates permanently in your tanks. It would be interesting to see, like, you know, whether you've seen differences by running it or not. I mean, I like I said, I only run mine when I need to, and people see my tank. You know what I mean? You see what it's like. But I always think, like, if I did run it all the time, continuously, would there be a change? Would there be an adverse effect, or would there be a good change? Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I've never tried it, so. But going on to Chris, he said he's used Rock Enhance, and then he says the tanks looks refreshed the following day, a bit like when you use that source mud. So I'm assuming it's like, like what you use, Jay. You know, that mud, that miracle mud, is it, or something?
Yeah, when you put that the day after that mud, your water is crystal, like absolute crystal clear. I was just going to say that you know all these dosing things and all these kind of like the Roa Phos and the carbon and stuff, they've made them so good now that you got to be careful with how much you use. And I've never used like the recommended daily dose of like anything. It's just everything's super keen, isn't it? Yeah. Like if you use that food that I'll probably say the recommended, I'd always go under it because everything's just super enhanced at what it does.
But also all the other filtration, because people are running Clarices and roller mats and everything else. If you're using that, and then of course you go back years, people would have used just Roa Phos to do that and a skimmer. So now if you think how efficient a lot of the stuff is, and then you're putting that in, you're just going to strip everything out. And you're right, the carbon's a lot more efficient. The Red Sea one is really efficient, and people say it's good, but be careful with it. But you're right, it does say put in X amount, and I usually put half the dose in. I don't need it. Yeah,
I do half doses, especially if the Red Sea iodine as well. Iodine that I use. It says that I can put nearly, I think it's 1.5 mil, but I only ever put 0.5 mil in every time I do it. Yeah, just more everything in moderation, because I'm just.
You can always add more, but you can't take it out.
Tip of the day.
You know what I mean?
Do
you know what my dad always used to say? He always say,
you can have that one.
Son, you can add, but you can't take away.
That is
true, isn't it? It goes for everything, doesn't it? You know, that goes for everything, doesn't it?
I mean, technically, you can take it out if you do water changes, but in your case, no, you can't.
He's gone. He's got the arm. He's turned his camera off.
You know, got to go get his therapy. Mate, where's the video gone? Oh, dear. He's having a nightmare.
I tell you what, Jay, the thing I've got a problem with when you see those dosing bottles and it says X amount of milliliters per 100, it doesn't take into consideration the stock level you've got, because all that stuff should be done in relation to how many coals you've got. Because if you haven't got much and you stick to what they say, then you can end up overdosing, especially something like iodine. So it's a bit weird. It's a bit like Nopox. And Nopox, they said the dosage should be X, Y, and people use that and they end up having a bacterial bloom, stripping out all the oxygen from their tank because they put too much in. So I've never got why people, why they put it on there, And secondly,
true.
why you should have a big health warning to say this is a guide, because if you stick to it and you do it in a newish tank, your stuff. There was something I saw the other day about Alpha Reef, and there was something on Instagram, and someone said you put X amount of milliliters per 100 liters of water, and I'm thinking, I wouldn't dream of doing that. I would start small and go bigger, because you don't know how much you're using. It doesn't pass the sniff test for me.
I think you got a good point there. Why do they not take into account buy a load, like how many fish, how many corals you've got? Because that's what's going to take it out, isn't it? Whatever you're dosing, that's what's going to consume it. So yeah, you're absolutely right, Paul. You're onto something there.
I've had a look at it, but I've always ignored it. I'm thinking, no, I'm always, maybe because I'm a cautious reefer, that I'll just start low and just build it up slowly and see how it goes. Because one of the worst things you can do is overdose, or you get a spike in whatever you're putting in, because not so much the fish use, the corals are just hate it. As we've said before, it's not how much you take it up to, it's how quickly you increase the dosage of that. So it makes I don't think it makes any sense.
No,
but there you go.
Good one, that is. 4 hours, 25 litres. That seems all right, to be fair. Thanks to the zoo for sharing that one.
I think if you get a pump, you'd probably double that. You'd probably do, depending on the weather, like you say. But
2 hours.
I think you could with a pump and good weather as well.
Yeah, that's
for sure. Well, then MB Reefing, he put a valid point. Like you said, put a 100 litre barrel and put a float valve in it, it switches it off, once it's filled. So that's a good idea.
He's got a good setup going on there, hasn't
he? Yeah, you see that quite often with people having the big barrels, and they've got float switches, and they've got Apex that then trigger in, and another redundancy and stuff like that.
MB lives in Cumbria, doesn't he? He lives in the Lake District, I think, so that's why his water's so good.
MB Reefing, each says he changes it every 6 months, but my TDS coming in is lucky if it's 34. Wow, 34.
Wow, 10 times higher than that.
Exactly.
Spring water that he's got tapped into there.
Exactly. Rudra, evening Rudra. I always have Chemipure Blue in my tank. I use that Chemipure Blue in my 170. When I was just starting out in my my reefing journey. And I never even thought about using it in my big tank. When you get a big sump, and you just change your ways, don't you? The way you do things and stuff like that. And I've never used it, but Chemipure Blue, I know a lot of people use that. A lot of my friends who used to have tanks, they use that all the time, like Chemipure Blue. But it says that has carbon, and he used that to control nitrates and phosphates. Changes it every 6 months. So yeah, that's a good idea to do. Evening, Phil.
How's the guy?
So,
Phil.
Phil from Coddles Essentials has joined us.
You
so
just missed the best plug of a product I've ever had on a live stream.
I'd tell you what, he was better than the pros. He'd do a good job on telly promoting it.
You need something selling, give it Steve. He was awesome, weren't you, Steve?
Yeah, he hasn't got a clue what's in it, but he told us what he gave us the marketing pitch.
Yeah, he did.
You don't need to know. You don't need to know what's in it. All you need to know is that it works. I'm telling you, it's definitely. You know what it is, mate. I tell it as it is. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's good.
Like we also have a video of the Scully. Just you say it turned. You're on about your.
Did do a video.
It turned inside out.
Inside out, you said. I want to see this.
I will do a video. I know I took a photo of it. Didn't film it, but I will do a video when I feed it. Yeah, and I'll show you, mate. I will send it and I'll post it. Trust me, because it was crazy, mate. Switched all the power heads off and just directly spot fed it. It was crazy. It was. So yeah, definitely works. But just wanted something simple without another piece of equipment. Absolutely. Tony, I've been led to believe carbon is exhausted after a short period, i.e. 1 week. I don't think that's the case. I think it's slightly longer than 1 week, Tony, to be fair. But I mean, I always thought it was like changing carbon every month. I thought it was like every month, me. You know what I mean? But maybe I was wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
It always makes me nervous changing it. That's why I leave it every 3 to 4 months, because it's just super keen stuff.
For sure. Steve, how did you catch your sale thing as my hippo tank is acting like a hippopotamus, and my tank is only 4 foot, not the plains of Africa. Well, valid point, mate. Really, to be fair. Well, I use the float thing from Nios. You know, the reef float. Is it reef float or something? The Nios. I use that to catch it, mate.
Was that the bubble fit? Was that look like
yeah,
a bubble?
The bubble. Yeah,
and
the
then
bubble.
It floats to the top.
You pull the magnet off when the fish is in, and it flips it, and it floats it up to the top. I use that. I've got that. That's how I've caught both of my fish. The brown tang, which, as you all know, it took me about 4.5 weeks, so I persevered with that. Yeah, that was a long time. But the sailfin, I literally dropped a piece of the food into it. It went straight in, and then I flipped it. It was like literally that one took probably about 5 minutes, whereas the tang took 4.5 weeks. So yeah, I mean, different fish do it. Some of the fish are clever, aren't they? You know, when you look at them, you think they've been here before. These fish, aren't they? They know what's been happening. These guys, they've been here before. They know exactly what's going on, because they don't go in, do they? They don't go in the trap. They just stay there, right on the edge.
They're not stupid,
you know what I mean? And mooch off, mate. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's how I do it.
So Drippy, I've got a trap if you want to borrow it. So what I did with a trap, you stick it to the side of the tank, obviously the inside, and then I used to feed into the trap for a few days, and the fish would go in and out, and then that's how I caught the fish that I needed to. Not all of them, because you say some of them are too smart and they won't go in there at all, and they'll wait for the food just to drift out. But others will go in there. And also, if you put with a something like that fish, if you put one of the algae rings inside that and you stick it to the side, they'll go in and start eating the algae ring. If they know that's where the algae ring is, but you might have to keep it in there. You might be really lucky. It might go in there kind of first, second day, or it might take a while. So that's what I did, and that's how I caught one of my tangs. And the other one, I couldn't get it that way, and I had to get 2 nets. And Jill helped me, and we just cornered it and got it out. But it's quite hard if you got a lot of rock.
Yeah, it's a nightmare, mate. I tried that. Yeah, there's no chance. I tried everything before.
I know.
I had to go out and spend £70 on a bloody ball, mate. You know what I mean? To catch a fish. It's crazy.
Is that how much they are, them nice fish catches? 70 quid?
No, it's about £70, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, it's mad, mate.
£65,
£75,
plastic roll in it with a magnet, is that all it is?
No, it's good, mate. It's a good idea. It's a good invention.
I get the idea, but it's manual. It's not automatic, is it?
No, is it heck? No.
You have to stand there, you have to be lucky.
You've got to stand there. So basically, the idea of it, I believe the idea of it is that you drop. There's like a little hole in the top of the ball, and you drop like your food in it, and then it goes down into it, and then the fish go in, take a little bit and stuff. Now the idea is that you want that fish that you want to catch to go in, But the likelihood of it going in is slim. So no chance, mate. They very rarely go in because they know that you're after it. You know what I mean? Just like my brown tank. He never went in it, What he used to do was he used to wait for the other fish to go in, kick up a fuss, and then the food floated back out of it, and then he got the food. That's how he did it, mate.
Silly, are they?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh, the clever, mate.
He was the smartest one on the reef then, basically, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah, he was very, very acute, mate. Yeah, he was bang on, that guy. He knew exactly what he was, but yeah. It's anyway. It took 4 weeks, but he still came out. We got him in the end. You know what I mean? That's the main thing. Let's have a look. Have you seen a picture of the yellow bounce button, Scotland, that Kraken Corals has got in now? No, I haven't. I haven't seen it, mate. I haven't been on their site yet, to be fair. I've been on it for a while, in all honesty.
Never even heard of a bounce button.
Yeah, exactly.
Yellow bounce buttons. I think that's a Scotland, isn't it?
New, is it, a bounce button?
Yeah, so Phil's put there some videos on the Sustainable Reefs page, Meaty Corals of Love a Target Feed. So, coming through his mouth, it definitely does, for sure. Scholar, he meant the Scholar. It's on Instagram, he says. So,
I think Jay will have a look at it. Jay will have a look at it and stick it on the screen.
I'll try to find it. Let's have a look.
Yeah, so let's have a look. Going to have to catch a fox face and a regal soon. but I'll be moving tanks so I can break down the skate.
It makes it a lot easier because you can take the rock out, drain the water down. But some of the smaller fish are still hard to find. I real problems trying to catch damsels when there wasn't much water in there. They just leapt around. But yeah, you should be all right with foxface and regal.
Oh
yeah, for sure.
Wow.
For sure, mate. For sure. I appreciate it, Paul.
I don't need it, so you can borrow it.
Clear, guys. Have a look at that.
Yeah. Let's have a look, Jay.
You're not really seeing it. You're not really seeing it properly there, but it looks nuclear. It's on their website. It's on their Instagram anyway. But it's all.
What is it?
It's bubble. It's all.
Mushroom. It looks like a mushroom rather than a scully. Is it a scully?
It's a bounce button. It says bounce button scully.
Really?
Basically, it's a small scully that they've just must have like exposed it to more light.
The shape of it just looks like a
bounce
mushroom, doesn't it? No, you can't. It's
rubbish on here. Go to
proper bright yellow. Yeah, it's the yellow that's
cracking corals.
It's yellow in it.
Yeah, it looks really nice, but it looks toxic. It looks like it's been near Chernobyl or something. It's super, super bright.
I tell you what, Steve, talking about what's looking nice, that Raja Rampage, it's now got 5 eyes on it.
You're joking. I thought you said it only had 3.
No, it's gone to 5. And then, to be fair, 2 of them are not fully formed, but you've got 3 that have now got the rings around them, and the other 2 you can just see the eyes coming out.
Mate, you're gonna have to get that shit out to me soon, mate. Yeah, I tell you, no, they're gonna have to sort that out, mate.
I need to frag the Dayglow volcanic Dayglow, whatever it is, Zoas. I need to frag those 3. Once I've done those, let them settle for a week or 2, and then I'll ship it all out to you. I've got all the stuff, so I haven't got to wait for the stuff. But yeah, by the time it gets you, God knows how many eyes it'll have on it. But it's a nice place.
Be a colony by the time it gets you.
Yeah.
He'll
be fragging it.
he'll be making loads of money on it. Yeah.
Hey, I don't make any money on anything.
Feed it some of that new food as well. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, mate. Absolutely will be. Don't worry about that. For sure, for sure. Let's see whether there's anything. Yeah, so Chris
I tell you what, I don't know if I told you what I got this week. I've got a Senai.
No.
For par.
Oh, yeah.
Absolute bargain. It was 55 quid. I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
It hasn't got any of the slides or anything, but I just wanted it for the par. So
yeah.
I tell you what, these lights are pretty good.
I
tested them. So I've wrote it down. So the top of the tank, 100% was 362. So that's nothing compared, obviously, to a Radian, but I wouldn't compare these to a Radian. And then where the top rock is there, that was that was 362. The surface was 681. So 681 at the surface.
Wow, yeah.
362 there. Where the chalice is, this is 100%, mind you, 300. Yeah. And then on the sand bed, it was 208. So that's running it at 100. I mean, I don't run it at 100%. I run it at 50%. But I thought for that kind of light,
you get a good spread, aren't you?
Yeah, because someone put a comment on one of the videos I said was about the lights are rubbish. You know, you'd be really surprised at the par, blah, blah, blah. I am surprised at the par, but how good the par is. I weren't expecting top of the tank like there, and that's 100%, 362 par. And
if you're on 50%, then you're getting, you're getting about
50%. Yeah, and in the middle 160. So yeah, I need to turn it up a little bit. But I mean, the chalice is getting 175 at the moment, and it's loving it there. So I don't really want to turn it up too much.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've got corals that don't need that much light at the moment anyway. But I was really surprised how good that was. And you're right about the spectrum as well. I just wanted to see what the par is. I mean, I can't remember what. I mean, I trust the Red Sea ones that the spectrum is right because it's on one of their programs. But
on the programs,
yeah. I was
well, a lot of,
surprised.
to be honest, a lot of people tend to go with them, don't they? You know, they go with the programs of whatever the manufacturers are, whatever you use, whether it's whether it's Red Sea or Radion or whichever ones your AIs, whichever ones you want, whatever you want to use. The majority of people, even the ones that I know, a lot of them who've got the tanks, they go with one that's already
the preset settings,
which is like what I've always done.
Yeah, they always go with them. Do you know what I mean? And then they adjust it, just like I have. I run the AB Plus, and the amount of messages that I get on Instagram. What do you use? How do you like? What lighting do you use? Blah blah blah. And it's like I basically run the AB Plus, but I have reduced red in it. I don't run a lot of red in it, so I think it's down to 3% in red or something like that. I think it's set at 7. I think it's 7 or 8. I think on the original one, I just dropped it back down to 3 because I've always ran it with no red. I've always ran my tanks with no red and green or very little. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, it's don't change it all. I know I could be missing out on colours. I could be missing out on colours. You're absolutely right, mate. It's possible, but
I wouldn't know where. But in terms of doing my own program, I know I could read into it and I can experiment. But as we said before, I think the templates are pretty good. And I get what you're saying. Is about more than just par. But I've never, and all the tanks I've had, I've never measured or really had a clue what kind of par I'm getting. So whether that makes a difference in terms of coral placement, I've always just kind of trial and error. Stick a coral there. Does it look all right? Give it a bit of time, then move it around. Now whether that makes life easier or not, only time will tell. But I just want to see what kind of power. And what I'm going to do the next tank is the one in the garage because I'm running a Gen 3. And that Gen 3 is nearly 8 years old. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of power a Gen 3 will be kicking out. And again, I think that's on the Ecotech LPS on their preset. So it's just interesting to see because you read different stories around as LED lights age, they deteriorate. Now, I've got to say, I've had those lights for 8 years. Whatever tank I've had it over, the corals grow pretty well. I'm not saying if I didn't get a 5 or a 6, they wouldn't grow better, but
I watched it. I watched the program on the worldwide corals, the worldwide corals, and the majority of their tanks up until not long ago, they were running the Gen 4s. They were running all the Gen 4s on theirs, mate. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's only up until recently that they changed over to the Gen 6s. You know what I mean? On that big one, is it the 1,500-gallon one or something? The huge one. They've only just changed over onto to Gen 6s. You know what I mean? And they said, like, obviously, they're seeing a big difference in, obviously the light and spectrum and the amount of, like,
the spread.
Because what it does is, with them, what it is with them, they don't just bounce, they reflect off the glass and then onto the floor and then bounce up. And it like you can see some shading.
It reduces the shading, right? I'm with you.
It reduces the shading underneath. I mean, on my Hirasuta there, right underneath the bottom of it, you couldn't see. It was going pale. It was going like white. Yeah. Since I've had these on now, I've seen the camera. Since I've had these on now, it's actually starting to go green again underneath the bottom. So that's like the reflection off the sand and off the glass, and it's bouncing up. Do you know what I mean? And giving it that way. So there's not much shading underneath. I mean, obviously the Stylopora and stuff like that's just like too big now. That's never going to get its colour back on where it is because it's just overgrown. Do you know what I mean? But like I said, I was really impressed with that Hirasuta. You know what I mean? With the way it's colouring back up again.
Yeah.
I mean, it evolves, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Companies evolve, don't they?
Absolutely, the technology. But I'm just thinking that if you're starting out and you're on a budget, you can pick up a Ecotech Gen 3 XR15 probably with the mount for less than £100. Yeah. Now, I'm not too sure, if you buy it 7 or 8 years, I'm not too sure how many years it's got life in it. But you know what I mean? You got to risk it could just bust tomorrow. But, you compare the value for money on that. And it's growing the corals in one of the tanks that I've got.
I mean, I rave about him. I mean, I say it all the time. I just think it was like that. One of those missing. We talk about it, don't we? You know, like missing pieces in your tank. You know, like it's like a jigsaw in it. You try to find the piece. You know, the piece that fits, and then when you get them all, or you begin to get them, and you begin to put them in place, it seems to come together. And I think for me, those lights, since I changed the lights over, it's been such a massive difference. Not just in terms of the way the tank looks, but like the growth wise and stuff.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that the lights are the ones that's made it, because there's loads of different things that could make it,
but it
parameters,
certainly helps.
nutrients.
Yeah,
but it certainly helps it. You know what I mean? And yeah, I mean, I just rave about them. I just think they're fantastic. You know what I mean? I don't think I would never go from anything else now. I would stick with them. Radions. I would never go with anything else. I would just stick to them.
They look great on yours, Steve. They look great on your tank. Your corals just look, you know, incredible on every video you do. They're loving that light, aren't they? The colours,
loving it, mate. Loving it.
And even like the LPS, I was a bit worried when you put your torches on the sandbed, because I thought, is there going to be like enough light down there for them? But they're getting enough on the sandbed, aren't they?
Mate,
that's quite.
They look better. They look better on the sandbed than they did on the rock.
They do.
It's crazy, mate. It's crazy. And I think maybe in theory, in hindsight, I think maybe they might have been getting a bit too much light on the rock. You know what I mean? I think
bleaching them a little bit on the rock.
Well, yeah, or maybe it wasn't as happy. You know what I mean? Because since I've moved them down here, the colour of like the colour of especially the Holy Grail has gone like a deep gold. It's gone like a deep gold colour, a really deep colour, and it's definitely changed, mate. It's definitely changed. When I look back on, like I said, past videos, and I can see the difference. You know, with the way the colour is. You know what I mean? The way the colour shifted and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy with the way it's going, you know, at the moment and stuff. There's a few things I need to do. And like I said, when I get that Raja off Paul and some of those frags, I'm just going to turn like that little mountain into a Zoa rock with a thing. And I think it'll look really nice, you know what I mean? It's something different, you know what I mean? So I think it'll look really good.
There's a little sweet spot. There's a little sweet spot with lighting, really, I find. So some of my corals, because I didn't have the reef brights on, they were like the ones lower down were a little bit dark and a bit dull. And then the ones at the top getting, you know, most of the light. And now I've put them reef brights on. It's a bit more even spread. And I've noticed my torch is getting a bit more colour now. My Monty's getting more colour. There's a little Favi around this side that's getting loads more light now. It's getting far more colour. And obviously if you get too much light, they pale out again. So like they go from dull, brightening, like perfect colour. And then they obviously start to bleach after that. So it's just hitting that sweet spot with your light, like just take it up a few percent or down a few percent, and you get that all that different color contrast, don't you?
Yeah.
Sorry, Paul.
That's exactly what
I was going to say. I wonder if those torches, because you put them on the sandbed, it's now getting more flow, because you're getting flow maybe from both sides. So you got a combination of light. Because I find that with the other tank, when I had some SPS colonies, when there was nothing around them, and they was getting flow from both sides, and they was getting light from all sides, just the shape and everything, they would open up better. As soon as some corals grew next to it, they get a little bit more restricted on not so much the light, but on the flow. So I do think that having that flow from all sides, or both sides, should we say, does help more, because you're just getting more aeration, getting more food, more everything.
Valid point, mate. To be fair, valid point. Yeah, absolutely. That could also be the case, because they are getting a hell of a lot more flow, you know, in a sense of being on the floor, because you've got, like, obviously I've got the MP 10 and the MP40 doing their thing, and then you've got the Giant that's doing the surface agitation on the top. So you're getting that like swirling, that different variety of flow, and plus they're all on different modes as well, you know, through the day. So you know, you're on constant mode, then you're on Giant mode, then you're on reef crest mode, then you're on tidal swell mode. So they're getting a mixture of everything, you know what I mean, which is good, which is what corals need, rather than having one stagnant one flow all the time, mate. Which is, well, it's not good for them. They won't. It's like they're not getting the full potential. Do you know what I mean? But you could be right there, Paul. To be fair, you know what I mean?
Because that's one thing that's changed, is it? I know, you know, the power might be a little bit less, but then with torches, they don't need a lot of light, do they? I mean, it helps. I've found the torches, if they're higher up in the tanks that I've got, they've done slightly better on that. So.
I tried to sort this out.
Don't change Don't change your channel over, guys. Don't try and tune
Don't
it
mess
in.
with
It's
your
only
TV,
Jay.
and you know, like the little knob that used to mess with the colour. You had to twist that knob, didn't you, for the colour and the contrast? Just keep your screens, guys, as they are. It's my screen. I came on earlier today to try and
turn the saturation down.
Turn the saturation down.
We'll be running those adverts. Do you want to help a poor teacher? He's gone yellow for as little as £1.80 a month. You can help Jay.
No, it's just, I think it's a combination of this blue light in here and obviously my other light here, the other stand light. I don't know. I hope that's the case and it's not my health, but
no, it won't be that, mate. It won't be that.
Cheers,
so Phil's put LED diodes have an average lifespan of 50,000 hours. Wow. With a 10, so almost 14 years. Wow, I never knew that.
I tell you what, if you have lights that last 14 years, you can't knock that for value for money.
Yeah,
I know you spend a lot on an Ecotech. Yeah. I mean, because up until recently, I had Gen 2, and I've got Gen 3 over a tank. I've had Gen 4 over a tank, and all of them have grown corals really, really well. Like a rock.
Cheers,
you know what? I can't cope with this. You know what? I was one of them since I was about 10.
Jay the rocket lolly. Oh dear.
I tell you what, though, if it was a coral, you'd buy it, wouldn't you? Like them little, you know, if you get a coral like that with all them colours and like a pyramid, you'd definitely buy a coral like that, wouldn't you?
If you was a chalice, Jay. If only you was a chalice.
I know, yeah. Cheers, Drip. Yeah. That's made me laugh. That's
a classic. That's a classic. That.
Oh, I won't show you the stick. I won't show you the stick.
She's happy with her Gen 4 Pros. Won't be changing them anytime soon, unless they're working. Absolutely.
I'm with you there, Hayley. Got 2 of those running. They're really good.
Like you said, what's it called? Worldwide Corals, like I said before, they've only just changed theirs not long ago. You know what I mean? From Gen 4s to the Gen 6s. So yeah, if they're working, you don't need to change them.
All right, lads. Give us a break.
Change Kenny.
You get a bit seasick.
We're going this mode now. Do me head in. See me teeth.
Oh mate. Yeah. Really disappointed with Jay as a teacher wearing a jumper but no leather apple patching sack.
What's this?
Oh mate.
And as well, geography teacher said you have a patch on your arm, shouldn't you really?
That was an absolute classic.
Old school,
yeah, that's a classic.
Cheers, lads. Thanks for ripping the pee out of me.
Well, you usually do it to me, Jay. You usually do it to me, mate.
I'll take it for you, Steve.
Yeah, take it this week, mate. Take it this week.
Right. Well, I think we need to get some names into this Wheel of Misfortune.
Oh yeah, we do, mate. Yeah. So are you going to be doing it? Are you going to be doing the honours? What should we? So what are we going to actually say?
Well, I think you should say Rocket Lolly because that's
Rocket Lolly. Yeah, Rocket Lolly. So to be with a chance to win Power Food, Colin says your Power Food. Yeah. Right. You need to comment below. Put Jay's Rocket Lolly. Put that down.
You have to put Jay's Rocket Lolly.
No, you got to put Jay's Rocket Lolly.
Jay's Rocket Lolly, and that's what you got. You've got to put it down to be in it to win it. And that's what you're going to do.
Jay's Rocket Lolly. It's getting shut down.
Decker's Reef.
You got to put it in again. No, it's wrong.
Yeah, it's wrong. You've got to put it in Jay's Rocket Lolly.
Yes. Hayley's done it right.
Hayley's got it. So Hayley's the first one.
That's. I'm sure that's a copyright Rocket Lolly. Right, what's that wheel called now? Let's have a look.
Who's doing it? Who's putting them in the wheel?
Well,
I think Jay's.
I'll do it once I get.
Right, so Chris Allen's put it back in, so that's fine. I don't know about
Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, Tekker's done it right as well. So
random Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune. Yeah.
This wheel of names.
I think you have to put random wheel roulette, and I think then you Google that, it'll come up.
I found one here. Oh, I found it here.
There we go.
Oh, I got it, Jay. Right.
Seamless as always.
Wait up. I need to clear up. I've got loads in here.
You what, mate?
For some reason, I've got loads of names already in it.
I think that's an example. You have to delete those. There'll be someone called Jay in there, and that person will win.
Right, let me just get it on my other screen here so I can see the chat. Let me just turn my other screen around.
Oh, it started with Haley, Jay. Yeah.
Starts with Haley, does it? Nice.
Yeah,
one.
Jay. Chris Allen put Rocket Lolly, and then he went back on himself, and I think he's corrected himself.
Yeah, they have. Techers and Chris have put it back in.
So it's got to say Jay's Rocket Lolly, guys. Yeah, don't let it say anything else. Not Rocket Lolly or Jay's Lolly or anything like that. It's got to have the same thing.
Jay's a Wally. Can't put that.
Russell. You can't put anything like that.
Steve, there's a comment down the bottom from Coral Essentials.
Let me see.
Rich Matty.
Well, what happens if I were to accidentally include 500ml bottle of CVE as well as, oops, it's Friday after up? Well, what do you say, guys? Wow. What? Hey, I appreciate that, Phil. Well, I'll tell you what, this is exactly what I'm running, guys, and I'm dosing that CVE in my tank, so... Can me and
Paul join or not?
Yeah. Oh, well, I don't know about that.
No, I don't. Maybe. So, Steve, what does the what does the CVE Plus do?
It's like the elements, it stands for chrome. I think it stands for. Let me just get the bottle in.
Go do the advert. Do the advert.
Chromium. Yeah. Here we go. So it stands. Let's get this here now. Follow me. Yeah. So here it is. So I'll actually read it. What it actually.
Here we go. Another marketing pitch. Go on, Steve.
So basically, CVE is an essential blend of unique Chroma Plus, Vibrance Plus, and Energy Plus, providing enhanced chromatic pigments, metabolism, and polyp extension. The all-in-one for stunning colour and growth in all aquariums. So basically, that is what it does. You know what I mean? So you basically dose it 4 mil per 100 litres on a mixed reef, which obviously mine is. So I'm dosing 12 mil and I'm doing it six doses. I'm doing it, 2 mil during peak times. So when my light is on at the highest point, which is about 12 o'clock, that's when it does its first 2 mil, and then every hour then it doses 2 mil all the way up to 6 o'clock, and that's how I've got it at. Now you don't have to do it like that. You can dose it all at once. But you're doing
it over a 6-hour period and 2 mil per hour. So you're doing 12 mil. You're doing 12 mil per day, basically.
12 mil per day, mate. Yeah. Right. So that basically, and you know what? That way, you rather than dosing it all at once, you space it out over those 2 hours, over the hours and all that, which I think is a lot better. You know what I mean? To be fair, but yeah, I mean,
how much is this prize worth, Steve? How much is it worth? This prize?
Oh, mate, you know what? It's a fair. What is it? So it's going to be the Power Food, I believe, retails. I think it's about £30. Correct me if I'm wrong, Phil, but I'm sure it's about £30, £29.99, and then the CVE 500ml. bottle, I think, is about 39 quid, I think, something like that, £39. Yeah. So you're looking at, a good £70 price there, guys. Yeah. So, really appreciate that.
There's a couple of comments on this. He said 65 quid-ish. And also, we were talking about earlier on about when it says like 4 mil per 100 and everything else, and it should be based on your tank. The comment that's put on there is about this is for a fully stocked aquarium, which obviously yours is. So obviously you can go. If you're not fully stocked, so if I put it in this tank here, nowhere near fully stocked, so I'd have to put a lot less in per 100.
Yeah. I mean, it's all new to me because obviously it's a new product, what I'm dosing and stuff. But I mean, it's like a learning curve for me, you know, with it. But I'm seeing, like I said, I've seen no, you know, excessive nutrients or anything like that in my tank. You know what I mean? Which is fantastic for me because, like I said, I've always struggled with phosphates, especially phosphates, and not so much nitrates and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's early days for me. You know what I mean? I've only been dosing 2 weeks or so it's early days for me. But I think, by the looks of it and dosing wise, I think it can only be a good thing. You know what I mean? I can't wait to keep trying it, and I'm definitely going to keep doing it. You know what I mean? For sure, going to keep on it, and then see. You know, after 3 months, do a 3-month one because I took photos before when I started it, and then I'm going to take them obviously after 3 months, and then 6 months, and then see where we go. You know what I mean? Color. Growth and stuff like that. So I think it's fantastic, mate. You know what I mean? I can't praise it highly enough. And like I said, you guys know me. If something doesn't work, I'd say it. You know what I mean? But yeah, so far so good, mate. Everything's doing really good. I'm really enjoying it.
So would the CVE be the equivalent of amino acids?
Yes, I would. Yeah. Basically, okay. That's what I think it would be, mate. Yeah. Or it'll be like, I presume it'll be a bit similar to, you know, like that AB. Is it the AB plus what Red Sea?
What, the Red
like
Sea AB plus? So I'm just trying to find out what the equivalent is.
I'm assuming it would be like similar to that. I would have thought, mate, because that does exactly the same thing, isn't it?
He's just said no. So I'm just trying. So it's not the same as Red Sea AB plus or amino acids.
It's not the same as Red Sea.
So it's slightly different. So I mean, he's put it as a complex mix of vitamins, so that would be slightly different. So I'm just trying to understand where it is in relation to other foods or other things that dose. Okay, so you can dose it alongside aminos. Okay.
Right. Sweet. Right. Well,
was Haley Bar the last one to enter, I think? Haley Bar, I think that's the last one as I can see.
Haley Bar, have you got Skyrocket? Sky Marine?
Yeah, Sky Marine, yeah. Skyrocket.
Skyrocket.
Got Rockies on the brain now.
Who's that by Elton John?
Skyrocket.
He's in the chat.
Yeah, so I think we've got them all, MJ. Yeah. Haley Bar.
Yeah,
that's the last one that I can see. Yeah, Haley Bar. Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah. So yeah, it seems that way. I think that's the last one, Jay. Really.
So
you did that quick. You can tell you're a teacher, can't we?
Oh, I got to. When you got year 9, you've got year 9 kids in front of you, mate. It can be chaos in a second.
That would have took me 40 minutes to do that, I think. Well done, mate. You get an A. You get an A for that. You get an A for that, Jay.
That's how long you've been at school. You don't even do A's anymore. It's 9s.
Oh, do you? Oh, right.
That sounds confusing.
So he said here, Phil said aminos shouldn't really be mixed with anything, as they will be broken down and become obsolete. Hence why CE as aminos separate.
Right. Okay.
Oh, yeah. So Coral Essentials as aminos is separate, right? See, got you. It's all new, isn't it? You know, it's all like really thing for me. It's like I need to really read into a lot of it. You know what I mean, and stuff. To be fair,
because so when you go into any new system or anything, you need to understand it a bit, don't you? And what you use it in conjunction with and other stuff, just to understand what you're doing.
Yeah,
and and also what it should do. So actually, you can actually have a look to see what does it impact. So does it take your nutrients up or not? You know, are you seeing your scully turn inside out? That kind of thing. So you know it's feeding well and inflating.
Yeah.
All those kind of things.
Well, I know one thing. One thing I know, obviously, the CVE is different. That's obviously doing its work on the corals and stuff, you know, over time and things. It's not going to take 2 weeks. You're not going to see much of a difference in 2 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe it's 3 months, 6 months. Then but like when you spot feed that coral food it instantly works. You see it straight away on everything, mate. You know, when you don't spot feed it like you can tell it's working straight away. You know what I mean? And the corals love it. So, and like I said, no, I've not seen any adverse effects on it. So, you know, with higher phosphates and stuff. So, for me, like I said before, it's a win-win.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, 1-1 is put. I'm getting onto Reef Elements pH plus. Oh, I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen the pH plus. It's a newer product, isn't it? It's the equivalent of the normal one, isn't it? There's Elements, which is the normal, the normal Elements one that they used to do. Is it the normal Elements plus or whatever? This pH plus is supposed to raise your pH as well as doing the same. Yeah, as well as doing the same as the original. The original stuff that you can dose. Yeah, I remember reading a little thing on it. But yeah, Reef Elements. Doesn't mean he's done it right. So,
hey, behave yourself.
Hey, he's a teacher, mate. He's done it right.
Absolutely.
I'm going to take him off in a minute.
I'm going to say, yeah. Hey,
let's
see, Jay. 1 minute.
We can't see any names. Someone's going to say you're missing.
Oh, perfect. Look at that.
Yeah,
let me brighten the screen. Let me brighten the screen up.
Yeah, you're missing Elton John.
There we go. Look at that. Bobby Dazzler, that, mate. Can't argue with that. Yeah. Done well there, pal. Done well there,
mate. Isn't it?
Is everybody there who should be there? Am I missing anybody?
I don't know. People should be able to see them. They should be able to see the name as it's going. If you follow the arrow on the right, you'll see the name go by.
Sky, Haley F, Russell, Rich, UKM, Chris, John, Skids, 1-1, Howard,
the register.
Mr. Reed, Steve Webb. Yeah, I'm ticking up. Tony, the Zoo. Yeah, that looks about right. That
looks about right. Let me know. Let us know in the chat if we've missed anybody. A couple of minutes, and we can add you in.
Yeah, that point.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you're not put that down, you've got what? When should we do it in? Say, should we do it at what time? Say 5 minutes.
I don't know, Steve. It's your competition.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. We'll give it. Yeah, till 1:45. So we'll give it to 1:45. Yeah, and then so you got 10 minutes.
Yeah.
To put down. So you've got to put Jay's Rocket Lolly.
You've got 10 minutes. Schools aren't very good in Manchester, are
they? So let's see where I am now. Let's see if I can catch up here. There's so many similar products out there.
Really good. It's a bit like what you dose. There's so many different products out there for alkalinity, calcium, magnesium, and if you go in the LFS, if I go into AAC, there's absolutely such a range of different dosing products, and then aminos and everything else. It is a bit of a minefield as to which one do you use.
Sure. Richard, but when dosing these things, are you turning your skimming and pumps off? No, mate. No, I keep them in. So obviously the CVEs are linked. I've done a video on it. I don't think it's going to be this video coming up. I think it's the next one, I think. And I've done a video of it, I've linked it to my existing Kamoa. I was going to originally do it on the D&D, but I've changed it over to the Kamoa because basically on my 4th channel, I had the the Nitrophos. I had the Nitrophos, which is basically nitrate. It's basically the equivalent of no-pox. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, but it was aquaforest stuff. Now I had that on it, and I've had that on linked to the doser for the past like 6-7 months, and I've never used it. So basically, took that off now, and I've put the CVE on the doser. So that ends the reason. That's how it's dosed into the system that way, as opposed to the original one that I was going to do. But no, I don't do it, mate. I just directly put it into the return chamber, and then it doses it straight out into the aquarium. So no, I don't turn. It's very rare to turn any of my skimmer or my pumps off. To be fair, but even when I feed the fish, I don't do it. I just shove it in, and leave it at that. Only if I'm doing spot feeding, like I said, once a week or something, I might turn them off.
When I had a mandarin, I always used to put the power heads onto feed mode and then feed one end of the tank so all the fish went up there, and then the mandarin was down the other end because otherwise it'd get out of full. But I find in the other small tank with the pipefish, that holds its own with the clownfish and everything else, so I don't have to do it with that. That's the only time I ever turn the pumps down or off.
Yeah, for sure. The Zoo. Should you start feeding the coral foods / additives as soon as you put corals in? I mean, for a fresh, sterile tank that has just been cycled. Tricky that. I wouldn't, because you could set off like, and arguably you might put a bit too much, in the system. To be fair, so especially with a new system, I wouldn't do it straight away. I wouldn't have thought, mate. To be fair,
a little bit of fight, just a little tiny bit.
Fight and stuff like that. Yeah, but he means like additives and stuff like that.
I must admit, I wouldn't do that, only because again, I think there's some comments in there about just the stability, because your parameters and everything's all over the place. You're just putting something else in that could change the parameters and everything else. So I try and add as little as possible. But you're right, copepods, phyto, put a little bit of bacteria in as well, just to help with the biodiversity really, and get some life into the tank.
Bacteria. That's the one. That is the one as well.
Bacteria. Yeah, I mean, we excuse me. We always dose bacteria still in our tanks, don't we? Even to this day. I always put that Microbacter 7 in my tank.
I need to get some of that. I'm going to try that.
I've done that. God, years and years. Just a capful. Every so often I just take. There's no specific time I put it in. Just a capful, and sometimes bang a cap here, and then it might go 3-4 weeks, and then I'll put a little bit more in, and I'll just put another capful. No specific time. You just how can I put it? You just like giving extra bacteria to your tank. You're just helping it out, kickstarting it a bit more and stuff. So Drippy Reefy, love to be in class on Monday morning when a kid calls out.
Don't, mate.
Hey, Jay, have you put this chap down? Reef 216.
Yeah, I put Reef 216 in. He's in the draw. He's in the draw for the win. Oh, she's been nice now, Joe. She's been nice, look, after taking the pee earlier on.
Like the thumbs up, guys. It helps the channel. I really appreciate it.
Cheers, Joe.
Let's see. I'll be filling my 425 tomorrow, so I'll give it a good few months before I start adding any additives. Thanks, Coral Essentials. Absolutely.
I tell you what, that anticipation when you do that and everything else, and everything's nice and pristine and everything, and as soon as you do it, you say, "Wow, I want to add this in. I want to put that in," and you're hurrying it along. But it is a nice time.
Yeah,
absolutely, mate. Absolutely.
You've got a good day there.
Drippy Reef, the zoo, exciting times. It is, mate. It is when you set up a new tank, or you're getting into it. I mean, I look back. In fact, I watched one of my videos the other day of when my tank, I just put the first few corals in, and when I look at it now, I'm like, what? That's only like 3 years ago.
Is that on your channel, is it? I'd like to see one of your first videos.
Yeah,
is that on your channel?
Yeah, it's on my channel, mate. Right at the very bottom, yeah.
I haven't seen that. Right I have to watch that.
But, mate, it's like, watch it. I mean, I had a really crappy camera and all that. I mean, I've not got much of a better one now, but like a really crappy camera, yeah. But it was just like so shoddy the way I was filming it. I had no filter lens on. I had a bit of it. It was a nightmare, mate. Yeah, but you see it, and you can see like all the back wall and everything. It's just like now you can't see any of the back wall because it's just all coral. You know what I mean? It's crazy how like 3 years just goes by, and it's just like crazy.
Professional now as well. You are right in terms of so much more professional as well with the production of it all.
No, I wouldn't call me a professional, mate. No.
No, you do a good job.
I'm a newbie, mate.
You do a good job. I like your thumbnails.
Yeah, you do a good job on that as well. To be fair,
you know what I mean. To be fair, so. But yeah,
I'm not too sure you can fluke this.
It's a good.
All right then.
All right. Switch off.
I'll rephrase that then. I won't call it fluke yet. What I'll say is I'll say I've been very fortunate, and I've probably escaped with a few things that could have gone wrong. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I've listened to a fair few good people.
You've got to have a bit of luck in this hobby. I've had loads of.
Yeah, you've got to have luck, mate. You've got to have luck. You know what I mean? There is luck in this hobby. There's no doubt about it, mate. You know what I mean? There's luck in this hobby.
You could just put a dodgy lot of water in, and then that could be it. I mean, I roll the dice with getting water from elsewhere, don't you? But you could just, you got to have luck. You've got to have luck.
Of course you have, mate. It's luck, but like you said, and then we've said it before. It's like listening to like people who's got decent tanks, good tanks. Me especially, I have always done that. I've said it before in the past. You know what I mean? I've always took advice off people where I look at their tanks and go, wow. I love my tank to be like that, you know what I mean? Because they seem to have a tank like that, you must know a little bit, you know what I mean? I'm not saying you know everything, but you must know a little bit about it. So
I saw one
and that's
like
helped me a lot.
The Swiss
That's helped me
Reefer,
along the way.
Swiss Reefer on YouTube.
Swiss Reefer, yeah.
He's got a 350, I think, like yours, but he's got 2 islands, mate. It looks incredible.
Yeah, he's had a few tanks. He's got a big copper band, doesn't he?
I think not on that video that I looked at last.
Oh yeah, Swiss Reefer. No, is it a 425 in it?
I think it's a 425, and it's got one like ours. It's like a frag tank.
Yeah,
he's got this one.
I think it's got. Yes, I think
it's
it's
a small one as well.
Yeah, really nice tank. But he didn't tell you any like secrets. He was just talking about his corals on the last video.
He's had a YouTube channel for quite a while.
Has he? I'm going to start seeing it, but his corals look ace in there.
Yeah. The Zeus said he can't wait. The Drippy Reef Geek tank's been sitting empty in his living room for months. Mate, that'd be torture for me, mate. I couldn't have a tank sitting in my house. No chance. Oh, I couldn't be doing that, mate. No chance. Oh, God, no chance. No way. Bloody brilliant. Yeah, absolutely, mate. He said he's going to be working away, so won't see it for almost a week. That's the only problem when you're a wagon driver. Yeah, it's mad. It's mad.
Definitely get a camera.
Hayley's saying don't do the wheel. She needs to go to the toilet, so we'll give you a couple of minutes then, Hayley.
It's on hold. It's on hold.
So wait until Hayley comes back. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, Jake, did you think that you missed out on that Gunny coral in the end?
I don't know. Well, I haven't seen it, have I? I haven't seen the one from Future Frags.
No, yeah, from Future Frags.
I haven't seen it.
Any plans on seeing it, or?
So Mixed Reefer, is it Stefan? He's normally in the chat. To be fair, he's got one, and he's put in his tank. He's had it about a week now. So I'd like to see an updated picture of that, see what that looks like. But I'm fancying the one from Prestige Reef, which is a bit cheap. It's 120 quid. And it's the lemonade one. Have you seen it? The lemonade.
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
I haven't. No.
Yeah, I've seen it.
To be fair, on his video, it looked a lot like the picture. I quite fancy that one.
Yeah,
it does look nice, doesn't it? Yeah,
it does look nice.
I've seen his latest video. Actually, to be fair.
Yeah, it has to be the guy. I want to. By the time I don't know, in the next 15, 20 years, I just want to have like 30 different gonnies, just like a massive collection. You seen that video that I showed you where he like pans over that garden?
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
All the different colours next to each other.
Oh yeah.
That's my bag. That's what gets me going with this reefing.
So when you going to get rid of the Zoa rock then?
Well, I don't know, because that's my little boys, remember, from the start. That's what he got that gifted. Yeah. He got those Zoas kind of gifted at one point.
He did. Yeah, that's right.
Really in the early days, and then I bought some from that ocean blue blue corals.
Ocean blue marine or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. So at the moment, that's his favourite bit of my tank. My little boy's favourite bit is the Zoa bit.
Oh yeah.
So like,
that's going to be tough then, isn't it?
I know. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just going to.
Yeah, you can't get rid of that.
I know.
You'll have to buy him a tank. Shove it in it, mate.
Well, yeah. And then it gets even more expensive, doesn't it?
It does. Then you got to maintain 2 tanks and everything else that goes with it.
I'm never going to be a 2-tank person. No, I'll have 1. I'll when you're transitioning, I might have 2, but then the idea is to then take it out.
Sure.
It does take time. I mean, I've got 3 on the go.
Yeah.
It's only now probably the last 3 or 4 months that I've got into a routine, and 2 of the 3 tanks I'm really happy with. The other one I'm never going to be happy with because it's just got big colonies in there from the other big tank, so it's never going to be how I want it. It's almost like a holding tank. But I mean, the floating aquascape now, I'm really pleased with how that one is looking. And this one, it's just taking its time and it will mature over time. But yeah, the floating aquascape, I'm going to buy some SPS for that now as well, because I think it's now ready for some. Fancy getting a tabling acro. Have you got any tabling acros? Stay.
You won't be asking me.
No, I haven't.
Oh, yeah.
No, I haven't, mate. No. I mean, no, I haven't. Actually. I thought I did then for a moment, but I haven't. No, I haven't.
What's the yellow one you've got? Is that a Pikachu?
Yeah,
Pikachu. That one. Yeah.
Is that ready to frag yet or not?
I'd say you could probably get a little, maybe half an inch piece of it, of one of it, but
yeah,
it's too small. No,
I mean, for me, you need a frag about an inch and a half, really, for it to to
absolutely,
have a chance
mate.
to survive.
Absolutely.
And you can get smaller bits.
Not a weed jet, that one, Paul.
I mean,
no.
It is one of those ones where I thought it would be a quick growing, but it has grown a lot considering when I put it in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
It's got to settle in, hasn't it?
Now it's starting to settle in, yeah, and it's basing out now. So now you're going to see once it's based out on the rock, you're going to see more.
It'll start going up. I found that on one of the ones. It hasn't moved for ages, and now it's based out.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you're getting the little nibs and stuff like that around the edges. But yeah, I fancy it because it's a floating aquascape. I fancy one of those plating ones.
Yeah.
Because then it will just hang over. I don't really want it to grow up because it will shade the light. I want it to grow out over the side. So I just wanted to find a decent. I need to find a decent coloured tabling one.
Right then. So Joanne's put banter, it's fun channel. Absolutely, that's exactly what it's all about. Haley has come back from her toilet break, so she's back.
Right, are we ready for the Wheel of Misfortune?
We're ready for the wheel. I think
we will do it. So yeah, Jay, if you could do the honours, my friend.
Of course,
I really appreciate it. Everybody is on. Absolutely not. So hopefully you can all see that. And Jay,
you got to press the button there, Jay.
Right, you ready? Good luck, everybody. All the best on a Friday night.
Luck, guys.
Here we go.
Good luck.
Oh.
NG Reef. Congratulations.
NG Reef is the winner. So NG Reef.
I thought Reefport had it in the bag and just
nearly had it.
It went across the line, didn't it?
Message me, my friend. Message me on Instagram, and I'll send the details off to Phil, and he'll sort you out, mate. So yeah, NG Reef, well done, mate. Definitely good win for you there, pal, and you'll love it, mate. 100%. Nice one, Jay. Appreciate that, my friend.
Yeah, thanks, Jay.
You're welcome, mate. And your channel is the one for the giveaways. You've given away most on your channel, haven't you?
He has.
Always give away mugs, Radiant. Remember when you give away that Radiant? That was nuts as well.
I tell you what, that was so funny. His head nearly exploded, didn't it? With the pressure of getting all that right and making sure the names were in and everything.
And that one tonight as well, 80 quid worth of stuff. That's really good, isn't it, as well?
It's good.
Well done. Is he there, NG? Oh, he's there, look.
There he is. Nice one. Well done, mate. Well done. Well done,
Let
Paul.
us know how you go on in the next few weeks with it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
Nice one.
And Jay, thanks for all your hard work, my friend. Absolutely.
Oh, thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. We make a team, a loose team.
Reef wants VAR to put on it.
Yes. He was so close, though. It just edged, didn't it?
Yeah, just make him feel bad. It just went across the end in the last seconds.
Sorry, Reef Pot.
Oh, guys. Oh, it's mad, did it?
Nice one.
So, guys, what's any plans for this weekend? Are you doing anything, going to any fish shops or anything? No?
Yeah, so I'm going to go AAC first thing tomorrow morning. I need to get a couple of bits and pieces, and I've got to message someone who's going to meet me there because I've got a couple of corals for them. So I'll be going there. I'm just going to pick up. All of a sudden, I've got some bubble algae in there. I don't know where it's coming. It must have come in on one of the corals that I put from another tank. So I need to get an emerald crab for that. If they've got a tabling acro, I might. If they've got a really nice, 1.5 inch frag of a tabling acro, I'm gonna try that.
They'll probably have a nice coral. They always have nice corals in there, don't they? It's a special shot.
Yeah, absolutely. So I may pick up a piece of that. That's about it, really. Nothing else. Just a couple of bits and bats, get some pods, those kind of things.
Yeah,
but I might. Yeah, I won't set up the KH keeper yet. I don't want to take it too quick. I've got to do that at some point.
You've got the Gen 1 though, haven't you? With all the issues?
I upgraded it, and I still haven't done that either.
All right, okay. I didn't realise.
Okay, off your head, mate.
I know.
Absolutely off your head. I've got to tell you.
That's a medical diagnosis, is it?
Updates. Oh yes. Well done, Drippy. Well done.
Drippy Reef Geek. Love to Reef update.
At least
question mark.
At least someone holds him to account. We keep forgetting.
Yes.
Slowly.
Yes.
Slowly. I'm still waiting to work out how much your smart plug tells me that your Red Sea runs.
Oh, yeah.
He keeps not telling me, and he hasn't made a video yet either.
No, I haven't looked at it. I need to have a look at it to see what it says, and then work out what it means. What it means is probably a lot of money.
Well, yeah, they're all a lot of money at the moment, aren't the reef tanks running? That's the thing.
To the venue, you get about 2 people in there swinging.
We're on the street, Paul's guy. Be nice and cozy in there, anyway.
Well, it would be very cozy. I'd have to buy an extra rug for that, wouldn't I?
There's no draft, so the pH has dropped through the bottom.
Wow, yeah. That's why I got the CO2 scrubber.
Oh, yeah, good thinking. Is this you on the road now, is he? Oh, nice one, mate. Well, enjoy filling your tank up tomorrow. I'll be thinking about it because that's one of the best bits of it, isn't it? You'll get it all.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is
definitely, mate. Yeah, be safe, mate. Take care, Paul.
All the best.
So let's have a look. Well done, NG. Yes. So we've caught up. You know what? We've done well today. Kept up with the stream.
Yeah, I've done well.
Kept up with everybody. Kept up with everyone, considering a bit flustered at the beginning.
A water change. That's all I'm doing. Just a water change.
Got mate.
Just a water change and some pods. That's what I'm doing this weekend. I try and do that every weekend. Get some Copa pods in there. No Daphne this time, but just Copa pods and a water change, 10%. And it's it'll be all happy again. Might take a photo on a Sunday when you always your best Instagram photos are on like a Sunday when I've done my water change. That's my routine. Anyway.
So Jay, when you do a water change, do you put that medical mud in it?
Not every time,
no.
Every 2 or 3 times, yeah. Every like second or third water change.
Every other one, yeah.
Yeah, I'll put some in, yeah.
Right.
Not every time, no. But it is good stuff.
No.
I'll give you some when I see you next time. Paul's got
I know. We need.
Yeah, I've now getting into a routine. I can't remember. Is it every week or do you do it every 2 to 3 weeks, Jay? I can't remember.
I do every 2 weeks.
I put the mud in last weekend.
Yeah.
So I won't do it this weekend. So I probably do a test every couple of weeks. I'll probably do it. I have to do things in a routine as I just totally forget. So when I do the water test next week, I'll probably put a little bit of a pea size in that, and just twice that size for the other tanks, basically.
Tiny amount. Well, when you run out, let me know. I've got loads.
I've got loads of it. I haven't really used that much.
Yeah, it lasts a while as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Steve, Ross,
it's banned phrase.
So it's by Harry's Ross, not where's Ross.
All right.
How is Ross? Yeah, Ross is doing well. He's
in good spirit.
He is. He's doing well. He is going to be joining us at some point.
I'm not too sure when he's coming on. He's got his hands full at the moment. I'm not too sure exactly when he's on. Yeah.
He has got his hands full, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll join us at some point.
We'll tell him that everybody's asking about him.
Yeah. At some point he'll do a video, but I'm not too sure when. I think I don't think he's got the time to come on the live stream, let alone do a video at the moment.
Yeah.
For sure, mate, for sure. Yeah, no, I'm working on. I'm on a late tomorrow, but then I think I need to go to Crack and Corals on Sunday myself.
Hey, get a picture of that button Scully.
Yeah,
that's if it's still there.
Radio,
mate, by then.
Yeah, well, you'll end up buying it. You will if you go in there.
Oh no! I can't buy any more, mate. Can't buy any more. I just can't buy any more. No chance.
Yes, that's a lie.
No, it's come to the point where I just don't have. I've got that rut where I said like is for all Paul's gear, yeah, and that.
Get rid of that bubble collar. It's massive. Put it back in the sea.
Yeah, so are you mad, mate? That bubble collar's going nowhere. That bubble collar, one of the very first ones, mate.
That big. Frag it.
Massive, mate. It's massive. I'll never frag that ever. Never.
That's what I said about mine. I ended up fragging it, and there's loads of pieces all over the place now, and I've still got about 2 or 3 pieces of it left. But
it's just, you know, like you see some corals where you just like where you think, like say for instance that the rainbow chalice. I'm never going to frag that. I will never frag that. You know what I mean? Ever. I'm just going to let it grow and grow and grow, and just see how big it gets. You know what I mean? I'll never frag it, mate. Hey?
It'll get massive. It'll get absolutely huge. It'll be such a special piece.
Eventually, you know,
then no one will be able to afford to buy it off you because it'll be that big.
It'd
It
be,
won't be for sale.
thousands.
It's not for sale,
Yeah.
mate. Yeah, it's not for sale. I wouldn't sell it.
Everything
I
has a
wouldn't sell
price.
it.
Yeah, everything has a price.
Mate, people say that, but no. I mean, everything for the price, for the right price, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But, no. But anyway, been a total pleasure tonight, as always, boys.
Thanks.
Part of my weekly routine. Appreciate that, Drippy Reefing. Yeah, as always, mate.
Friday,
top man. We do.
Friday.
Absolutely, mate. We love it. And like said, a massive thanks to Phil and, like I said, Coral Reef for giving that out. And yeah, NG Reefer, congratulations on your win, mate.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. Aquarian, great stream, fellas. Catch you on the flip side. Absolutely, mate. Joanne, as always, cheers. Thanks for joining us. Hit the thumbs up, yeah. Come on, lads and ladies. Thumbs up. Click the thumbs up and the likes. Really appreciate it. And Tony, as always, cheers, Tony. Thanks for joining.
Nice.
And Phil, yeah, appreciate it, mate. Yeah, and like I said, I'm sure NG Reefer is going to love it, just like me. I love the stuff,
Absolutely.
so can't wait. Chris, have a good weekend. You too, my friend. And Steve, always a good stream you guys put on. You know what? We just, like you said, we say it time and time again. It's just all a bit of banter, a bit of fun, a bit of reefing chat, and a bit of a little bit of extra. Colin J. Bart Simpson. Rocket Man.
Rocket Man. That's another Elton John. It was Rocket Lolly, not Rocket Man.
Where's his platforms?
The Rocket Man. Oh yeah, the Rocket Man. Oh yeah, Rocket Lolly. Won it. Yeah,
not what you listen to. Hope you all have a great weekend with your reef tanks. Anyway, no, next week how.
Right. So where are we next? So next week we're on my channel and we've got open mic. So we've got
open
2 or 3
mic,
guests. So yeah, we've got some guests organised already.
Yes.
So hopefully we'll see people next week on open mic next week.
We haven't done one for ages.
Once again, guys,
it's been a long time. Yeah.
Long time.
Absolutely, yeah. Quite a while, mate, isn't it? Yeah. So once again, really appreciate you all for joining us, guys. Really, I know a few technical errors at the beginning, but you've all sticked around, and really appreciate it. And Reefer, congratulations on your win, mate. And we'll I'll get Phil. I'm sure he'll send that out to you as quick as possible. So once again, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next live stream next Friday.
See you next week.
Take care.
Have a good one. Cheers.